could still have a big market approach to doing things in a smaller community.
I can't wrap my head around everything that you do.
I like the adrenaline rush that directing gives you.
That's a quarter of a century, everybody.
The band's called Twisted Chrome.
Nobody talks to you about that in journalism, do they?
I don't think so.
An inside look at the people in front of and behind the cameras at NTV on this episode of Inside NTV.
Welcome to this week's edition of Inside NTV, where we introduce you and find out more about the folks on camera and behind the scenes at NTV that help bring you the newscasts that you watch every night or every morning or every weekend or whatever that may be. And right now I am in the nerve center of NTV, Master Control, with Josh, who's one of our Master Control operators. Josh, how long have you been with us?
It will be 2 years in August.
Okay. So I talked to Pat, who is here for almost 3 decades. You're the opposite. You're the new guy.
I'm the new guy, yep.
You work 8 to 4, is it Monday through Friday?
Yep.
Okay, so you got a pretty normal schedule.
Pretty set, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
What brought you here? What made you decide to come to NTV?
Well, see, I work at a radio station also, and I feel like that kind of prepared me. But I actually applied as a joke because this place has been in my life since I was a kid, as far as living around here.
Yeah.
It goes way back. I remember a lot of the old broadcasters, and I just took a chance.
Nice. And now you're part of the whole team back here.
Because I originally applied for a production assistant when Molly was still here.
Yeah.
And didn't think anything would come of it. And then a little while later, I got an email from her saying she was doing interviews. And we met in Holdridge, did the interview. And then didn't hear anything. I was like, well, that's that. And that was also right when Roe v. Wade, right when all that broke.
Sure.
So that you guys were swamped here. And then she sent me a text, and she's like, "Well, I think you're a better fit for this position that we're looking for." And I was like, "Okay." So started doing a little research, and here we are.
Tell the folks a little bit about what you do on a daily basis.
I get a lot of the shows that you guys see ready, as far as segments and things like that. We have 2 live shows during my shift, The Good Life at 9 and The News at noon. So I communicate with the director and the production crew to make sure the commercials are aired on time and brought back on air on time. And a lot of the same things that Pat said. We monitor the transmitters, the cameras, shading the cameras. Yeah.
And when you say shading, you got to make sure it's bright enough or dark enough so it looks
Yep.
good, right?
Yep, exactly. I was went to Orvin School of Shading. He gave me the details on all that, so that's how I learned, yeah.
Well, I'm going to have to get like T-shirts made, Orvin School of Shading.
You might have to. That could be trademarked.
Orvin is the longest term Master Control operator, right?
Yes.
So hopefully we'll catch up with him down the line. He tells me he's a better listener than a talker, but we'll have to find out.
Yeah. Don't just make him get on. If I got to do it, he's got to do it.
So you've only been here going on roughly 2 years. What has been the most challenging or the most rewarding type stuff that you deal with?
The most rewarding is the finished product. Just knowing that you did your job right, and the viewers get the benefits of that. They see the smooth shows. That's very rewarding. Challenging. Just multitasking. Like, you got to pay attention to a lot of things that are happening all at once.
Because you've got 6 or 7 computers, you've got ABC, you've got Fox, you also have TBD.
Yep.
So you have 3 channels technically you're watching.
Yep.
You're having to make sure all the feeds are coming in so you can digitize or record shows, right? So it's not just one thing with one set of commercials.
Yeah, we don't just get to sit here and watch TV. Regardless of what people say, that's not all that goes into it.
But I can see where the rewarding part is, like, you can walk out the door at 4 o'clock and know what you did happened. Like,
Yeah.
you accomplished something.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Which is very cool. A little bit about you. Where are you originally from again?
Well, I was actually born in Hastings.
Okay. So you're a native guy right
Yep.
around here.
Yep.
Uh,
We moved quite a bit when I was young. Unfortunately, it always led me back to Holdridge.
okay.
It's not my favorite place, but I have family there, so
Okay. It's driving distance to here.
yeah. The commute's easy, so that's nice.
And then one of the things that we got in common, right, shortly after you started, was you're a Steeler fan, right?
Yes. Yes.
How in the world, being from Hastings, native Nebraska, and all that fun stuff, how did you become a Steeler fan?
I think even as a kid, I enjoyed the blue collar attitude, the hard work ethic, and their defense. It was just fearsome. And they drafted, I know as a Husker fan, this is weird, but they drafted Cordell Stewart.
Yes, there you go.
And once Slash hit, and then you had like Hines Ward from Georgia, another team I like, and their defense, man, it was awesome. It was awesome to see. It reminded me of like the old black shirts, and that's, I don't know.
So you're also a diehard Husker fan, obviously.
Yes.
You got your Husker. Speaking of black shirts, it's a black hoodie. What's your? I know this isn't about the job, but I want to also learn more about you. How'd your fandom for the Huskers come about? I know that seems almost like it should be ingrained in your blood, but
It is. It absolutely is. It actually started on my mom's side. Her dad had season tickets and lifelong fan, and I remember being, 4 or 5, 6 years old, hanging out with Grandpa, watching a game, and his nerves would be so bad, and he didn't smoke cigarettes, but he would sip on peach schnapps. That's what helped calm his nerves. So as a little kid, we're just like, yeah, Grandpa, yeah. So he actually would let us have a sip
oh no.
once in a while to calm our nerves. But yeah, it's born in me for sure.
Have you, looking at schedules, you're Monday through Friday, so you don't get to work during a Husker game very often.
Unless he's gone.
Right. So are you like trying to tell Pat to take a Saturday off here and there? so you
Yeah.
can get on the
I
board?
have no problems with Saturdays during football season. I'll work every one.
And right now we've got a couple Fox games coming up later in the year. So on a Saturday on August 31st, then we actually have a Friday night on September 20th.
The Illinois game?
Yep.
Yeah.
So that'll also be on Fox. What is something about this room, and granted there's a ton, what do you think sticks out to you that somebody at home should know about when it comes to what they see on TV that they probably don't know?
Just how much is involved. I was very naive. Like when I was interviewed and Tim kind of gave me a tour of the place, he brought me in here and I was like instantly overwhelmed. I'm like, how can it possibly all function? Like I even asked him, I was like, how many people have been intimidated after they've seen that room? Because like there's just things everywhere. But yeah. So what was your question?
Oh, just like what is something that you have to do in here, or something that happens in here that people at home should know about that they may not even fathom when it comes to getting stuff on?
Besides everything that's involved, geez, Wags, I don't know. Did you get me with that one?
Well, one of the things that I think is interesting is that it's not just what's airing. You're also recording. You're also sometimes, I mean, I did this here a couple weeks ago with our news director. You have to like patch things through so that we can record for news sometimes.
Sourcing.
Yeah, there's just a whole bunch of buttons and different computers.
Yes.
There's monitors everywhere, like we talked about. Like you said about the cameras, you're influential on what stuff looks like for the newscast.
And we one other key aspect is we also have to make sure that we have closed captioning.
Oh, that's a huge deal.
That's a big deal. That's a big fine.
So it's not just you need to make sure it looks good, but you need to make sure those words are available to go on the bottom of the screen.
Yes, absolutely. for the hearing impaired. We do what we can.
Absolutely. You probably, I don't know how much you have to do with the tower lights because you're in daylight most of the time.
Yeah, it's not usually something I have to worry about unless, I happen to be working that shift, which can happen.
Sure. If somebody's off, you may move around.
Yep.
Have you ever had to do the overnight?
Nope, that's
No?
the one I haven't done.
Okay.
I've done half of it. I've come in at 4, but I've never come in at midnight.
Okay. How long do you hope to stick around? I'll put you on the spot.
A long time. I'd like to retire here.
That's a good answer.
Now that I've got my foot in the door, I plan on sticking around. I enjoy the job. It's not as physically stressful as other jobs I've had. So you're kind of trading the mental for the physical aspect, but I think mentally I can handle things a lot better now that I'm older. I mean, the physical jobs just wear you out, man.
And, I mean, you mentioned radio, so this still allows you to do some of that too, right?
Yep. I still do that part-time at KUBR.
In Holdridge.
Yes.
Yep. And that's part of the KRVN family now, right?
Yep.
Well, very cool. Well, Josh, thank you so much for giving me a few minutes
You
and
betcha.
chatting with folks and letting people see behind the scenes and what you do and how all this stuff comes together.
Yes, sir. Thanks for your time.
Sounds good. We'll have another episode next week, everybody.